Hey folks, this is Kelani. Welcome back to the Antorus raid guide for normal and heroic. This time we'll be taking down the Coven of Shivarra. This encounter has 3 bosses, but you will only fight 2 at a time. You will start by fighting Nora, Mother of Flames, and Asara, Mother of Night, while Dima, Mother of Gloom, torments the Titan souls around the room. After she has tormented 2 Titans, she will jump into the fray, and the Mother of Flames will leave to torment the Titans herself. After 2 more Titans have been tormented, she will come back, and the Mother of Night will leave to torment the Titans. This will continue until you defeat the Shivarra. You will need to tank the 2 active bosses at least 20 yards apart at all times, otherwise they will take 99% reduced damage. So let's start with the Mother of Flames. Your tank will need to face her away from your raid at all times, as her Fiery Strike ability will cleave in front of her, dealing a large amount of damage and applying a stacking debuff which increases the damage you take from Fiery Strike. Your tanks will want to swap bosses at around 3 to 4 stacks. She will also cast a Whirling Saber, which throws out a sword to a random location, which will deal damage and knock back anyone it hits. Just avoid the circle on the floor. A sword will then spawn and start spinning and moving back to the Mother of Flames, so just avoid it as it moves. On heroic mode, she will also apply a small AoE debuff to several raid members. Anyone with this debuff just needs to move away from the raid to make sure they're not splashing anyone. The Mother of Night will be dealing high damage to random raid members with her Touch of Darkness ability. This is unavoidable and you just need to make sure you are healed up. She will also summon 3 Shadow Blades around her which she fires out in random directions. Look for the Shadow Blades and just avoid them as best you can. On heroic mode, the Mother of Night will also cast Storm of Darkness, which deals a huge amount of damage to the entire raid. You need to find the frosty looking safe zones which prevent all damage from the storm and stand within them very quickly. If you're not in a safe zone for a few seconds, you will die. It does a crazy amount of damage. Dima, the Mother of Gloom, will debuff her tank with Flash Freeze. This will deal a lot of damage, but also reduce the tank's movement speed by 10% per stack. You should swap around 4 to 5 stacks so your tanks can still move around. She will also apply Chilled Blood to random players, which is a healing absorption effect. When it expires, it will stun the target, and the duration depends on how much of the healing absorption remains. Your healers need to heal these up quickly, as getting stunned at all during this fight can quickly lead to a death. On heroic mode, she will also spawn large orbs of frost at random ranged players' locations. This will deal a burst of damage to the entire raid when it spawns, and it will slow everyone within 30 yards. The slow is greater the closer you are to the orb, so move away from it as quickly as you can. Your ranged players can move to the sides of the room to try and bait these orbs if nothing else is going on. So that's it for the boss's abilities, but the Shivarra will constantly be tormenting the Titan souls around the room. The non-active boss will randomly choose one of the 4 Titan souls and begin tormenting it, which takes 80 seconds. As this cast ramps up, the raid will be taking increasing shadow damage from Sense of Dread. When the cast completes, you will have to deal with one of 4 abilities, but the Sense of Dread will disappear until the next Titan soul is being tormented. You can usually see which soul is being tormented on the boss raid frame, so that'll give you an idea of what to expect. Depending on which Titan soul is targeted, you'll have to deal with the Machinations of Aman'Thul, the Fury of Golganath, the Flames of Khaz'goroth, or the Spectral Army of Norgannon. Again, it's completely random which one you'll have to deal with each time. The Machinations of Aman'Thul will spawn multiple Torment of Aman'Thul ads around the room. These ads will just stand still and start casting Machinations of Aman'Thul, which will heal them to full and apply a damage over time effect to the raid. You'll want to focus these ads down one at a time instead of spreading your damage. All you need to do is kill all of the ads. Fury of Golganath will spawn some Torment of Golganath ads around the room, which stand still and start channeling Fury of Golganath. This applies a debuff which will deal a huge amount of damage to anyone who stands within 2 yards of another player. Just spread out loosely and kill all of the ads to end the ability. Flames of Khaz'goroth will summon ads around the room which channel a large flame beam through the center of the room. Your raid will want to move away from the center of the room and take these ads out one by one as quickly as they can. Spectral Army of Norgannon is maybe the hardest ability to deal with. This will summon lines of ads around the walls of the room which all start slowly moving inwards. You'll notice each ad has a purple circle around their feet. If anyone touches those circles, they will die instantly, and these ads are immune to damage for 30 seconds. After those 30 seconds, you can kill them all very easily because they only have 1 HP. Thankfully, you can crowd control these ads with almost any form of crowd control. We found it easiest to root as many of these ads as we could using Druid Entanglements and Mage Frostnovas, while slowing any we couldn't root. This usually created gaps in the wall of ads for us to run around safely until the immunity wore off. You should be extremely careful with knockback abilities on these ads, because you can knock an ad into your raid members, instantly killing them. This ability is frustrating to deal with when you already have to move around for so many other abilities, especially on heroic mode. Once you've mastered how to deal with each of the Titan's abilities, you should be well on your way to a kill. So that's why you should need to take down the Coven of Shivarra on normal and heroic. Make sure to check the other boss guides so you're well prepared for anything Antorus can throw at you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.